Hello everyone, this is Rick and welcome to Astral Club. This is 5 ways to remember your astral projection. Before we get started, just want to mention Patreon. If you'd like to support the work of Astral Club, you can do so on Patreon. When you join, you get commercial-free advanced videos on Sunday, and of course there's an email where we can talk back and forth, and I can answer questions and you can share your experiences. If you're interested, there will be a link in the description. Next up, private lessons. If you'd like to learn astral project or just increase your number of astral projections and your ability level, I'd be glad to work with you. If you'd like more information, you'll find an email in the description where you can request more information. So let's talk about remembering your astral projections. I think there's a lot of people who, on some sort of a regular basis, actually have astral projections, but they don't recall them the next morning. Why is that? Well, it's a similar skill to developing conscious recall of your dreams each night. Most people say, oh, I don't remember my dreams, or I have a problem with that. Yes, and the same thing with astral projections, because there is a skill involved, and it takes some practice. You also have to tell your subconscious mind in some way that what happens to you when you're dreaming or when you're projecting while your eyes are closed, that this is an important enough experience to make sure that it's firmly implanted in a place in your conscious mind so that when you awaken later that morning, you will recall your dreams and most particularly your astral projections. So if remembering your astral projections and associated dreams is important for you, and it is a skill, if it is indeed a skill, as I claim that it is, then it's something that you need to work towards, that you need to invest a certain amount of energy in accomplishing. So what are the 5 ways that I've used in the past that have assisted me in my ability not only to have many astral projections, but to have detailed recall of them when I return to my physical body? First up is keeping a, let's call it, dream journal. Now, it can start out, if you have never projected, it can start out as a dream journal. I think you'll find that if you do nothing else but start keeping some sort of a dream journal, you will find over a period of time that your dreams are remembered to a much greater degree, more and more as you go along. When I say dream journal, this is something that you'd want to do for a long period of time. So let me warn you against getting too involved with that journal. You'll be tempted to write 3 or 4 page summaries of your dreams. And that'll be fine. You'll do that a few times. But eventually, you won't have the time to do it anymore, and you'll stop doing it. So what's important is continuing the practice, not the length of the entry. Rather than get into all the gory details of each individual dream and taking half an hour to write this thing out, just have a simple entry. If it's a dream, I had a dream I was at school and I forgot my locker combination and all my teeth fell out. Bam, done. Okay, that'll tell you a lot about what's going on in your subconscious mind. But it allows you to start reinforcing with your conscious mind and your subconscious to a degree that this is so important, these experiences you're having while your body is asleep, that you're writing it down. So you'll find as you continue this practice that you'll start to remember more and more your dreams. So astral projections, that's the next step. If you've got the dream recall down, when you begin to practice astral projection, the same skills will be involved. When you get back, write into your dream journal what happened in your astral projection. Once again, try to keep it brief because you'll have that temptation to get into all the various details. But I think you'll find that once you train your memory, all you'll need is a summary. And if you read that summary, even months later, it should all start coming back to you in detail. The main thing here is to keep it brief, keep it short. That way you have a good shot at continuing to keep the journal up rather than just abandoning it, a week in because you don't have the time. Okay, next up is meditation. Meditation is a great time to get centered and accomplish a lot of different things. When it comes to recalling astral projections, recalling dreams, the best way to do it is to put yourself into a meditative state and then review a dream that you had recently. If you can't recall any, then create yourself a little dream and practice memorizing it, going over and over again in your meditative state, such that it becomes a second part of you. When you are ready to practice astral projection, you can review one of your astral projections in a meditative state. Or if you haven't begun yet, you can create your own little astral projection in your mind and then practice imprinting it into your memory in the meditative state. And if you're in a good meditative state, you should be in a situation where you're only thinking about one thing, and that'll be your astral projection recall. Number 3, afternoon naps. I like to use those whenever possible because what happens when we dream or when we astral project, especially for people who are inexperienced, if you come back to your body after a dream or an astral projection, you then fall into a deep sleep. Hours might go by. More dreams will occur. And then when you wake up, you may only have a distant memory of what occurred in your projection or your dream. What's good about an afternoon nap is they typically are short-lived. Anywhere from 20 minutes to a half an hour to no more than an hour and a half, let's say. That will give you enough time to project, but also not to lapse into a deep sleep where you might then end up forgetting some of the details. So if that's possible for you, definitely try this technique out, astral projection, what have you, during afternoon naps. Number 4, narrate your astral projection while you're having the experience. Imagine you're a newscaster and you're on the battlefield somewhere and you're saying, okay, I'm located here and here in Kherson in Ukraine. And, the Russian army just pulled out and the Ukrainians are pulling in and the Russians have left behind all these tanks and this ammunition and these houses were destroyed and these people were harmed. By narrating this experience as you have it, and for a typical astral projection, it won't be as fancy as that. It'll be, well, I'm flying over my city here at night. I see the sports stadium far below me. I see the college where I went to school. Just narrating that to yourself as you experience it. That way, you not only have a visual component that helps to become part of your memory, but also a certain type of audio component. And this will aid you in recalling the experience when you return to your body. Lastly, number 5, Share your experiences on Astral Club or Reddit or with a friend you trust. By confiding and relating these experiences, you are ingraining this experience further and further into your conscious mind as you tell the story over and over again. That is an extremely effective way to begin exploring your experiences. And by sharing them, you are not only spreading information that can assist others, but you're reinforcing your own memories and your own beliefs. And that goes a long way to furthering your astral projection memory. As a little note to all of this, one of the ways that is a very quick way is a hypnotic suggestion, which can be part of your meditation stage, by the way. And that is, you tell yourself as you're falling asleep that as you fall asleep and you go through your astral projection, I want you to visualize yourself returning to your body and awakening with a full recall. And it helps to have a trigger too. So for me, I used to use the minute I got out of bed and my feet hit the floor. And I would visualize that and feel my feet hitting the floor during a meditative practice. That all my memories will come flooding back to me in detail. And that little trick can go a long way in helping you when you're practicing, especially in the meditative phase. But you can really use it at any point in these 5 steps because, quite frankly, it's a very brief thing. Just by quickly giving yourself that hypnotic suggestion over and over again, you will help to bolster your ability to remember your astral projections. If you liked this episode, please hit the like button, share it with those of like minds. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure that bell button's on so you're notified when the Wednesday afternoon and Saturday morning episodes are published on YouTube. Please give me your questions and comments, your experiences with remembering or having a hard time remembering astral projection, any questions about this process. And as always, this is Rick, and I will see you on the astral plane.